I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up? All right, I have someone coming in to help with moderating, and they'll be able to tell me if something's wrong with the video. Okay, I'll figure it out. My sister is coming on in just a second, child. Woo. Okay, so I am here to talk to you guys about Married to Medicine, season 12, episode 14. What's up, Lady D Keys? You said you haven't seen the full argument. If you like, take the poll at the top of the chat, child. Don't be shy. Nobody knows you're over here. I promise, promise, promise you will not get in trouble. Come on in, come on in. Listen, I wanted to show you guys something. I do have a little item for y'all today if you are interested. I'm wearing the lip bar. If you guys remember, I talked to you guys about the lip bar. She is a black, this is a black woman owned product. And this particular color that I'm wearing is Prima Donna. That's the purple color. And then I put on a second color in the center, Playmate. So both of these are from the Lip Bar, and this is a Black-owned company in case you guys are interested. The link is pinned in the chat somewhere, child. just in case, okay, you're interested in that color. I love it. I think it's so cute. I bought this yesterday, and I wanted to share because I don't gatekeep, okay? If I look good, you look good, okay? And thank you about the hat. Y'all can see I like to wear like the punk rock stuff, so I got my little skull. I'm also wearing skulls on my pins. So both of my pins are skulls. I got a little poodle and some sticks, okay? But y'all will get a chance to rock this out too. Everything's coming, I promise. Anyway, now that we're over that, let's get into this episode. Y'all know that I've already missed 2 episodes of Married to Medicine. What's up, Lady D Keys? Welcome to the chat. I appreciate you. What's up, Clone? Welcome to the chat. Both Lady D Keys and Clone are moderators. Clone is my real sister. We got the same mama, same daddy. So I love to shout her out because I know she's been working all day and now she is here to help me. But like I was saying, I missed 2 episodes. So I'm going to give y'all a real short rundown of what I missed, okay? Because it was pretty much Toya and Eugene for the last 2 episodes. It was the Toya and Eugene show. But honorable mentions, honorable mentions is Quad and King. My God, today, the way King embarrassed the heck out of Quad. Woo, I don't know what happened in Ghana because he was trying to provoke her to say it. I don't know if y'all were paying attention. But something happened back in Ghana, child, when they had that last IVF. And that man sat on that couch with his arms spread back like this, waiting for his moment. And he ended up, they had a little back and forth. And that man said, "Do you think it was fair what you did to me in Ghana? Do you think it was fair what you did to me in Ghana?" And he wanted to provoke her. He wanted to either get her to say she doesn't know what he's talking about so that he could lay it all out for the audience in front of them damn cameras, or I don't know. He was double dog daring her to say something. Now we remember how Dr. G used to get on Quad, and one of the things he liked to do was embarrass her, right? Anytime Quad would get out of pocket or what they thought was out of pocket, they would do something real nasty to embarrass her on screen. The last thing I remember with Dr. G was when he got on the floor and started growling like a dog, and he was foaming at the mouth. Listen, that didn't just embarrass Quad, that embarrassed all of Dr. G's friends too, because they was all like, "What are you doing?" but he embarrassed her real good. King did the exact same thing. He sat there and he tried to embarrass the piss out of Quad. Okay. And Quad sat there like, she started looking around like, Lord have mercy. And then she said something like, baby, don't count me out. But don't count me small, right? Don't count me out. Don't count me small. And he was like this. That's when we knew, if we was watching that episode, that's when we knew that was the last day. You know, they were broken up at that moment, because whatever he thinks she did to him in Ghana, he tried to repay the favor on this TV show. You tried to, with me, I'm a F with you. And he did it in front of everybody. It was dirty, nasty. Okay. But King, he tried it. Now, a lot of people have been saying that King was sassy. That was a sassy moment. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, that was one of the honorable mentions that happened after the trip, after they came back from Jamaica. That was the first thing on his mind. King has been leading up to this moment for a minute. Anyway, the other honorable mention was Curtis. Oh my God. Curtis and Eugene, or excuse me, Curtis and King. When Curtis was on that beach, the way Curtis told King to hold his beer and then started quoting Bible verses and telling King that Quad's womb was cursed, and so was his swimmers. Baby, you guys are doing things backwards, and God does not like this, which is why y'all can't have a baby. Oh my God. Anyway, after he did that, and everybody on the beach, everybody, there wasn't one person who wasn't looking at him like, and this is the dudes. The dudes was like, what are we watching? What are we watching? But yes, Curtis said, this is my opinion. I have a real good relationship with our Lord and Savior, and I want you to know he don't like ugly. Curtis forgot that after a one night of playing cards and drinking tequila, that man got turned out by a woman that he tried to wife, okay? And they went through the airport. That lady got dogged out so bad that she returned Curtis to Jackie, literally drove him home, dropped him off at the door and said, bitch, this is a problem I don't need and I don't want. The man ain't that great. I didn't even know, okay? I didn't know who he was. Please forgive me. But anyway, after Curtis had that moment, which he still hasn't lived down, I don't know why he thinks everybody forgot. He thought he'd have his moment and try to dog the hell out of King, okay? Yes, Curtis needed to sit down somewhere. Of course, Eugene and Toya, what I have to say about them these last two episodes, if anybody's been watching, if you understand a man like Eugene, right? A person who works the way he does. Eugene, in order to take care of his family, which he has to love, there has to be some pride in what he does. But for him to drive hours away every week to work at 2 or 3 hospitals, I don't even know, maybe 4, I'm not sure, but not in the Atlanta area. He drives out hours away to work at these hospitals. Okay? Then he comes home and he still has a practice. He's just not giving it his full attention. So there's still people who come to him at whatever this office is to get hormone treatments or whatever he does over there. So he probably dedicates one day out the week to that, a couple of hours out the week to that. But for all of that to be going on for this man, Eugene, you have to have your mind right. You understand what I'm saying? Like any little thing can slip you up. So you always got to be focused on the end goal. What's my bag? You know what I'm saying? Anybody who has a person in their life like that, and it could be you, you know what I'm saying? It could be you. Then you know what I'm talking about when I say the fact that this man is so wrapped in Toya's BS, because that's all it is. Toya and her ridiculous relationships with this cast, the fact that he made that his problem tells me that there's a problem in his house. And in his mind, he thinks that if he can make everybody else around Toya cater to Toya or whatever the case may be, that his life with Toya will be better lets us know exactly where Eugene is in his marriage. And I'm not making that up. They got some problems going on because Eugene shouldn't even be thinking about what any of those women are saying. Everybody on the trip to Jamaica said the same thing to Eugene, whether it was Steve or Heavenly's husband, Dr. Damon, whoever it was. Hell, even Scott said, let the women do whatever the women do. That's what they get paid to do. We don't even get paid a paycheck. Why would we involve ourselves to this degree? And they're not lying. Why would we involve ourselves for some shit they get paid hundreds of thousands to do? In all, for all intents and purposes, right? The fact that Eugene is involving himself means that Toya is unhappy. And when Toya is unhappy, she takes it out on him. And he believes that if he can fix everybody else, that Toya will be happy. And he knows, damn it, better. He's a doctor and he doesn't have time for that bullshit. So I know that they got a whole lot of problems in their house, a whole lot of problems in their house. He acts no different than Dr. Damon does with Heavenly. Explain. Are you saying that Dr. Damon gets involved in the women's business? Because I've never seen that. But I mean, I could have just missed the episode, child, but let me know. Because the way Dr. Eugene is going to everybody to say, I got a problem with your wife, or your wife shouldn't be saying this, that shocked me. I had no idea. I mean, like I said, he's too busy. His brain has too much stuff going on to make that small little issue that Toya gets paid for, probably one of the highest paid on the show. The thing that Toya gets paid for, he should not be involved in. I've never seen that, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Anyway, those were the honorable mentions, and I'll give a second honorable mention to Mimi and Steve. Y'all got y'all stethoscopes for next season, it looks like. Y'all be a part of season 13 because she's doing everything she can to stay on Toya's ass. Okay, and that's no joke. Okay, now we are here with episode 14. Thank y'all for rocking with me through that. Okay, so let's start with Simone and Jackie. Simone and Jackie meet each other for lunch like they used to back in the day, child. This season, it looks like they're doing the same thing. They talk about how Toya put on a great couples trip. She even pulled some tricks out of her hat that, Cecil and Simone hasn't done in the past, making them separate in groups and play games and shit like that. She was like, we ain't even done that. So she had some tricks up her sleeve and they thought that she did an excellent job. Then Simone decides she is going to snitch on Curtis. Okay. Her and Cecil were having some pillow talk. Y'all know they said that they're not the best couple to, work out the couples trip this season. But she said, me and Cecil was pillow talking and Curtis's name came up, child. And it sounds like Curtis gave King the business. She said that Curtis told King that the reason his house is not in order and he hasn't been able to have a baby with Quad is because they don't have their lives right with God. And Jackie damn near clutched her pearls. And she said, I accidentally overheard Curtis and Steve talking about it at the airport. And she said, you best believe I let him know. Number one, stay out of woman's business. Okay. And number two, who the are we to talk? Okay. What if you would have had an oopsie with that woman that you had an affair with, right? She was 35, still had some eggs left, unlike me, who was trying to get pregnant and said, baby, even if we can't do it together, is there any way we could adopt? And you shot me down multiple times on camera. So if you want to talk about right order, you're wrong where this is concerned. And everybody in this group remembers it and they're going to let you know it. So we owe Quad and King an apology. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. Okay. But anyway, she said that, let me turn the page. Hold on. She said at this point, they just need to give a separate apology to Quad and King. And then you hear Simone ask a question like, well, hell, Quad does not do well with apologies, child. She'll drag you through the dirt. And right now, we all seem to be in a good place. Now, Simone's talking from her own experience because we remember her kicking Quad out the last, group trip. And Quad made her pay for it. But Jackie says she is asking for the blood of Christ to be with her on this day. She says she's already sent out a notification to Quad and King asking them if they could meet separately and in private, child. We just break it from the group. We're going to talk to y'all, okay? So she's hoping for the best. Anyway, they also talked about how Toya does not know how to catch bees with honey, okay? They said that this heifer is hell-bent on pouring vinegar on everybody and everything, no matter what they did in the past. And this is all to do with the Med Gala. Jackie and Simone are pretty upset that they don't understand what type of donors Mimi and Steve are, who they've been in the past, and they have concerns that Toya is going to turn everybody the hell off, including the guests, because Toya just don't know how to act. Okay, so take the poll at the top of the chat if y'all watch the show. But yeah, people are questioning whether or not Toya, if she has any couth, any decorum, if she has any understanding of what charity is about and how to bring them big donors in, right? Anyway, moving on. In the next scene, we have Steve and Mimi. They are at home, basically talking about their family unit, as they always do. This time, they are talking about building their dream home, 8,500 square feet, okay? And they're also talking about their son who has special needs, what type of school to put him in. They said that he's been in speech therapy and in sports. They put him in some extracurricular things. And they said that alone has really improved his behavior at home and with his sister. And at the end of the day, I really am happy that they're showing another side of family and love and challenges, because we need to see all sides of Black family, not just the type that's screaming and yelling, because everybody screams and yell, but for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, people act like everybody got to walk up straight. The bottom line is we're all multifaceted people when it comes to family, okay? And I like that they are showing us a different side of family and that they have some younger children, right? Beautiful family, beautiful family. Now let's move on. Let's talk about Eugene and Toya. Hold on, y'all. I got to make sure I wrap this up by 8 o'clock. So Eugene and Toya are walking around Eugene's new office space. Y'all know he turned down the one with Contessa and Scott, but Toya has found him the perfect space. She said, baby, we got room for days. There's 20 rooms up in this piece. One doctor, 20 rooms, and every room has a bathroom. Eugene is going to be working at another hospital for the rest of his days. Because where's his money coming from? Okay. And now the economy is about to do a downturn and people don't have all that extra money for facial injections and shit like that. People will just let it go. But this is where they are. Okay. Anyway, not wishing anything bad on them. I hope that everything works out the way it's supposed to. But anyway, Toya is walking around, not Eugene, Toya walking around pointing everything out for the cameras, for production. And Eugene ends up going like this to his face, and Toya screams on him, stop picking at your face, right? And he like clutches, what? And he goes, Toya, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, is there ever a moment where I can touch my own skin and not get yelled at like a 5-year-old kid? So he does it in a nice way, though. He's very respectful, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you just keep in mind that we are rolling, we are on camera? Long story short, Toya blames everything that's going on. Well, you know I'm stressed out, Eugene. You know I'm stressed out. And she's making him feel guilty for asking her to let him have a little bit of dignity, okay? And he goes with it. I don't know what's wrong with Eugene. Well, I do. But this is what I mean when I say that there's a lot more going on with the two of them. And they pretty much, if y'all can't see it, they're on the brink of collapsing that relationship. And that's unfortunate. But she's screaming at him. She's telling him the Met Gala has her stressed out and that he should be mindful of that and not come at her even though she's coming at him. There's no apology there. There's no, I'm sorry, I'm flipping out because of this. She's saying you should be more understanding for me. That's Toya's position. Anyway, she goes on to say how she has been disrespected, cussed out, shut down, and that one of those ladies have told her that she's doing a good job. Everybody's just slamming her to bits, right? And Eugene is saying to her, I understand. Yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry. Yeah, they need to shut up, Toya. I agree with you. If these people, in fact, I hope that anybody who doesn't support you don't show up. If they can't support, they need not to come. Cool. Now, I'm not saying that Eugene should go hard on Toya for the cameras, because going hard on her is just going to make her go harder on him. But I just want y'all to know, like I said, Eugene got a lot on his plate, just like Toya thinks she has a lot on her plate with this silly ass Met Gala, unfortunately, that she's getting paid to throw. Eugene, on the other hand, has real life problems with these damn medical offices or hospitals that he's going to. And he has to be in a certain state of mind, because nobody wants an ER doctor that has problems at home doing emergency surgery on them. This is some of the shit people think about. You know what I'm saying? When you have an emergency room doctor on your thing. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. Anyway, after all of that, now we have Mimi and Heavenly. They're on the phone talking about Toya Child. And Mimi said, I'm not giving Toya a dime for it. She hasn't included me in anything. We're not allowed to ask her any questions about anything. And she just wants me to come up out my pockets, $2,500. Baby, I sit on a real board at Morehouse College. Okay. We give away scholarships every year, twice a year. And I know how this works. Where's your board of directors? Okay. Where's your financial committee? Where's your this? Where's your that? And Heavenly's like, I don't know. Oh, okay. Baby, they didn't have those kind of committees and boards when Toya wasn't running it. So you're saying some shit that Heavenly's never heard before, And she has been active on this Met Gala for a minute. But, you know, Mimi saying, I have way more experience. I know what this shit is about. And I'm not giving Toya any money. And I told her so. And if y'all weren't paying attention, Scott told Eugene the same thing. I think it was Curtis who was like, who's all in? And everybody was like, me. And Steve said, no. I support my wife. And since she's being dogged out at every turn and she can't ask any questions, we will not be giving Toya $2,500. And that's on God. Okay. He said last year we gave, I think, $5,000 to something he bought. Anyway, he made it clear to the fellas he wasn't putting out anything. Okay. Come on in, Trinidad and Tobago. Nice to have you. He said, yes. Thank you, sweets. Anyway, that's how that played out. Now we are at Simone's house. Simone has decided to do a redo for dinner. Although I'm not so sure that everything was a redo, baby. Something stuck. Something stuck. And that would be her and Cecil. But yeah, Cecil and Simone invite the boys over for dinner, just like they did last time. This time, them dogs was like, I'm out of here because I know what you, because I know how you are. So I'm out. So Michael comes in, and for those of y'all who told me that Michael does not look like his daddy, did y'all see it this time when he had the hair on his face? He got that same weak little chin that Cecil has, mustache, beard, everything, face shape looked just like his daddy. He got his mama's mouth, her teeth, but he got his daddy's face. And Miles looked like Simone, except he has his daddy's mouth. If y'all were paying attention, y'all would have saw it. But those two walk in the door and they sit down to have dinner. And y'all know Simone is the head of the house, right? So Simone ends up apologizing to her son, Michael, because her and Michael really are like this. You can tell that they probably talk to each other every day, every night, right? But she said, listen, y'all remember the last time we had dinner and things went completely left. And you could see Miles over there praying to God, like, don't let it go left tonight, please. Okay. But she said, I want to apologize to you, son. Little Cecil, I want to apologize to you for cursing at you and for telling you that I was effing done with you. That's not fair. I'm your mama. I will never be done with you, okay? I love you. All the stuff that people say, right? And then Michael apologizes to her, but not for being a spoiled ass brat, a grown spoiled brat who uses his mama and daddy for everything, right? But he says to her, I apologize to you for my tone and also for cursing, but not for the words that came out of my mouth. That I meant. You got the money, so you should be giving it to me. So that's what he apologized for, right? And then Simone kind of pipes in to maybe course correct him. I'm not sure. But before she can get the words out good, Big Cecil pipes in. And he goes, hold on. Let Twin do his thing. He trying to tell you something. Let Twin talk. And that's when Simone reminds him, if I'm not mistaken, your ass was on mute the last time we had a family dinner. So stay mute on this one too. This ain't got to do with you. You weren't supporting me then, so don't pipe in and create more problems. This is between me and little Cecil, okay? A person I'm hoping I can get to be a little better than you are. In my opinion, that's how the conversation should have went. Anyway, you could see all over Big Cecil's face, you could see the crack in his face, like, okay? And you could also see Miles over there looking at his dad like, just shut up. Just shut up. Let mama cook. Because, baby, if you two get into it again, it's going to be the same thing we had last time. Anyway, Michael ends up giving her a speech saying that he speaks for himself and for his older brother when he says that he is trying to lock in. He wants to lock in and he wants to have more money than his parents so that he can take them to see things and get them to do things that they've never done in life. If I could do for y'all just one thing in your lifetime that you've done for me, that's my mission. That's my goal. Because I don't like to eat off you, which sounds good, but you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to show and tell, sir. So while he's saying this, Big Cecil is beaming. He's beaming. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You might have spoiled the child. What did they say? Spare the rod, spoil the child. You should have just asked more. You should have just asked more, and maybe things would have went better for y'all. I don't know. Anyway, you said, yeah, both of them look like one of their parents. Yes, yes. If you were paying attention, he looks just like Big Cecil, just like him. Anyway, that's how the scene ends. Simone ends up hugging little Michael and telling him how much she loves him. And like I said, you can tell that they have a really close relationship. Michael makes his mama laugh and takes off some of that stress. Cecil tried. He tried to say to the boys, y'all put too much stress on your mama. I don't know if it was enough, though. I don't know if it was enough. You know what would be enough is if you said, from this point forward, don't ask her anything. Don't ask her for money. If y'all need something, ask me. And we know that Cecil's pockets are a little tighter than Simone's, so he'll say no. You know what I'm saying? He would say no first. So if y'all want to run, y'all need something, run it by me first. And if I have it to give, I'll give it. But if I don't, I won't, right? Anyway, even though Simone has been out here on these YouTube streets or social media streets saying that her and Cecil aren't getting a divorce and that they don't have no problems, even that scene, you could tell that their relationship is just as tense and just as tight. It's all a lie. Okay, moving on. Now we are at the Med Gala. We're at the space, the event space for the Med Gala. And the theme is living art. So everybody is supposed to come in dressed like artwork, okay? Face paint, something with the clothing, something. This is supposed to be like a knockout event. And I am going to say that Toya did a great job, like visually, like going into an event space like that. It looks amazing. It looked amazing. But she's letting everybody know that, baby, I sold $10,000 worth of tickets. $10,000 worth of tickets. She said that she got 2,500 from the core group, which means Jackie, Heavenly, Toya, Simone, Contessa, and Quad all pitched in 2,500. And she said with that, she was able to secure the space, get the decorations, the food, the drink, whatever it was, so that everybody could, have a good time at the party. And everybody else that she had bought tickets, they were the ones who put in the money that went to the scholarships. Okay, so $10,000 worth of tickets went to 2 med scholars, right? Anyway, we're getting Toya and Eugene along with other cast members, and there's a scene with Dr. Contessa and Scott where Dr. Contessa, first off, Dr. Contessa is letting everybody know that she got a body, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I think last season, Dr. Heavenly was making fun of Dr. Contessa, saying she was super skinny and all this stuff. Dr. Contessa wore this burgundy dress. I don't think she wore it to the party though, but she had on this burgundy dress just for the scene so that you could see she got a butt, she got breasts, she got whatever the men want out here, okay? She thought she was looking good, asking her husband, what do you think about this dress? He said, well, baby, you look good for 49, but I fear that if somebody touch you, it's all going to unravel and all of your goodies is going to be out there on display, which was hilarious. It was hilarious the way he said it. But in the scene, she reveals that Toya just sent the actual address for the event 48 hours before the event was supposed to start. So she is doubting everything about Toya. She said there's no way in hell that girl sold enough tickets to, offer scholarships to anybody, because who's buying something when you don't have an address, right? So they are all making fun of Toya. Every single one of them, all the couples are like, we are scared. We don't know what's about to happen. Child, they have no idea. Hey, Bama girl, welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyway, the newbies, which will be Angel and Brandy, they also gave $150 just as entrance fees. But if you was watching the show, you heard Brandy say, I'm not giving Brandy and Angel. So Brandy is actually Toya's friend, one of the good friends on the show. And even Brandy said, I'm not giving anybody $2,500 worth of shit. Okay. So they all had a problem with Toya, even though the OGs were more vocal with Toya. Every single one of them said they weren't doing it. And Mimi and Steve said, I'm not even giving you $150. Okay. So you can just scrap that. I don't get that. Anyway. Contessa said that Toya had a diva attitude and that she was unable to put her own interests aside. She didn't understand what charity events are, okay? She said that she treats everybody like they're her minions, and people don't want to participate in shit like that. That's not how you handle things when you're trying to get money out of people. Anyway, production runs back a rant that Toya had where she said, I didn't ask y'all for anything. I don't want from you either. Period. This is my event. I'll run it the way I run it. Which she did do that. She was very hot and cold with everybody. Okay. Toya had thought about it. She could have donated that wine. Okay. We're going to talk about it. Go ahead and hit that like button and also take the poll at the top of the chat. Whose side were you on, Steve or Eugene? Who wears the crown in this one? Okay. That's what you guys are voting for, because you are right. There were some things that Toya did wrong. Even though she got away with this time, this thing, there was a lot more money that she should have put in it. And I agree. $5K isn't a lot for them kids. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Babette? Y'all know that I like to say hello to my members. So welcome, 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 girl. Let me see if I had anybody else. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you, girl. If you'd like to become a member, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Okay. Now, in the meantime, everybody is getting ready. They're coming into the event. Jackie Walters, y'all know Jackie got a whole bunch of nice clothing that she likes to put on for these events. Her and Curtis gets out the limousine. I don't know what the hell they was doing in there, but Curtis had his zipper all the way down to the bottom. Okay, when they get out, Jackie looked down and said, "Zip up your pants." And he's acting like it's a joke. Then he tried to pull him. He said, "What was you doing to me in there?" "Nothing." Jackie started laughing because she knew that was funny. Okay. Anyway, moving on. When Jackie walks into the door, every one of those seats was filled. Okay. Literally full house of people, and she was in shock. She said, "This room looks like cha-ching. We got a whole bunch of people up in this mofo," right? So she was impressed, went over, said hello to Toya, told her how good everything looked. Toya had this pink flower, probably the same color as this flower right here. She had this pink flower on the side of her face. She looked amazing. What I would have done if I was Toya is I would have offered that face painter to all of the cast. If y'all want to come in and get your face painted, you should, okay? Because we're all supposed to be living art. But didn't happen like that. Anyway, Steve and Mimi come walking into the door, and they get stopped by the hostess. She looked down. She was like, "Who are you?" And they was like, "We Steve and Mimi, blah, blah, blah." She went, "You're not on the list." Now, she does know that this person is from the show, but she also probably had instructions from Toya to hold their ass up like at the door, because that's what happens, right? You know that those people are on the show. So they're standing there at the door like, "Well, what's the problem?" She said, "Well, let me go get somebody." And then she goes and gets Eugene. Eugene comes over and he looks around like, "Did you pay the 150?" Which would really be 300 because it's 150 each. And they tilt their head to the side like, "Bitch, if this was going to be the problem, you should have said something to me," because Steve and Eugene did have a one-on-one where if they weren't going to pay the 2,500 at the very minimum, Eugene, since you wanted to be involved, you could have said, "Well, at the very least, man, you got to pay the 150 no matter what." But Steve tried to pull rank. He said, "I am a guest of Jackie Walters, and she bought a $2,500 table, and I'm sitting at her table," which would work for anybody else at any other charity event, but not Eugene. Eugene said, "No, no, no. That pays for the table. It doesn't pay for the seat itself." It doesn't pay for the seat itself. And if you want to sit at this table, if you want entry into this event, you're going to pay me the 150 for you and for her. Okay. Now Steve is fit to be tied because he's like, "Bitch, are you lying?" And then you hear Mimi say, "We didn't even pay 150 entry fee last year. So this is some bullshit," because they know they're being singled out. And they are, because this is Toya's moment. And Eugene decided he's going to play tag along with this moment. Okay. That's on period. Anyway, they're completely offended. And Steve pulls Eugene aside, and he's trying to talk to him like, "Man, are you serious? Because 150, I spent 5,000 last year on an art piece. We came in here to buy. What is your problem?" And Eugene said, "Yesterday's price ain't today's price." So again, if you got ZELLE, we take ZELLE, we take Cash App, you know what I'm saying? We take Venmo, but your ass is going to pay to sit up in this, period. Crazy, right? Anyway, while they're arguing, child, because let's face it, this is a little tacky to have at this event, right? Steve tells Eugene that he's offended, and basically you seem to be tacky like your wife, in my opinion. Whatever. Anyway, Toya ends up walking up on him. She asks what the problem is, and Eugene wants his credit. So he said, "Listen, when you guys were in Jamaica, Toya, my wife, tried to tell you how this was going to work, but you shut her down, you shut her out, you cussed her out, you didn't have time for her. So I'm going to make you have time for her right now. How about that? Either you pay it or you walk out the door, one or the other." Eugene was literally sitting there going to bat for Toya, going to bat, wanting his points. "I want my credit because I'm about to look, this big ass 6'8" football player. I'm in his face. You can go, partner." I'm not afraid of you. You can go. Right. And Steve can't believe it. He is fit to be tied. He's fit to be tied. Now, while Eugene is doing this, because I'm like, okay, Eugene, listen, I get it. You got problems at home. You need to step up to the plate. You're doing what you got to do. The way Toya dogged both Eugene and her husband and said, why don't y'all take this shit to the back? I don't need y'all up here. And Eugene was like, girl, is there ever a moment that I don't get my flowers? What the fuck is wrong with you? Exactly. Exactly. She didn't even know to have your back in this moment. If anything, rub his back, hold his hand, get in that mofo's face and say everything he said. Toya shut both Eugene and Steve down. And Steve looked down at Toya and said, I don't talk to women. I don't have back and forth with women. I'm talking to your husband, not to you. Again, crazy, but happened. This is all going down at the event. Anyway, after Toya put egg on both of their faces, they get in confessional, and Toya said Steve wears more than $5,000 on his back every day of the fucking week. He has on some designer something. Why he can't pay this measly $300 is beyond me. I would never. And they're talking about Steve like they've never been so embarrassed by a person. In the meantime, Steve's argument is that Toya and Eugene should know better how to handle big donors. Okay. He's like, I do charity events all day, every day. And I ain't never been harassed about no measly as 300 when I'm about to drop 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. I could pay for every fuck thing up in here if I wanted to. And you guys just lost a paying customer. I was here to buy art for your event, but I won't now. And I'll still be here next year because we're doing season 13, but just in case you didn't know, period. Anyway, I'm going to tell y'all, I do think that Toya was so hell-bent on being right that she couldn't see the bigger picture. And I think she probably could have given those girls, instead of giving them 5,000 apiece, she could have given them 10,000 apiece or possibly 15,000 apiece if she would have just been a little sweeter to people. I do. I think that she did miss out on her opportunity. And I think that if she really understood what people who do charity work goes through, the asses they have to kiss, the stuff that they do to get money from people, she would have understood it better. But the fact that she had to attack everything, it did bother me a little bit because I thought she was more savvy. Anybody who sends cases of free wine over and say, baby, that's more than $2,500 worth of wine, I would think you would be more savvy about how to get money out of people. And I didn't like that Toya didn't know any better. Okay. But anyway, I'm asking y'all right now, who wears the clown versus who wears the crown? Okay. Hold on. Let me get the poll up. Okay. Make sure y'all take the poll at the top of the chat so I can vote y'all in. Okay, so I asked you, whose side were you on? Was it Eugene or was it Steve? And 53% of y'all was on Eugene's side. You said that he wears the crown, and that Steve, 47% of y'all said that he is a whole ass clown on this show. So more of you were on Eugene's side, Dr. Eugene's side, than you were on Steve's side. So there you have it. You disagree with my assessment of Toya, who is Steve. Let's take Steve out of it. Let's put anybody else there. Put anybody else. Take the Steve part out. Because sometimes when people like somebody and don't like the other person, we get just kind of stuck up on that. But the truth of the matter is, everybody at that event was a potential donor. And if the most money she got was $10,000 to divide amongst 2 recipients, that's not great. This is their 4th or 5th year having this event, I think. Maybe somewhere between 3 and 5, I think. I would think that you would have had a lot more money to give. And I think that even though the event was beautiful and that she had really brilliant ideas with the face paint, living art, and all that stuff, I think that if she would have been a little more sweeter and understood what philanthropy is all about, what you have to do to get people to give to you. Because really, you're supposed to kiss their butt. They're not supposed to kiss your butt. That's just how it works. And that's with anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is when it comes to charity. You got to swallow your tongue, swallow your pride, and make sure that you're doing the right thing. So I get that you may not like Steve, but Steve was not wrong. And if Toya was doing her job the right way, she would have had more donations from the people that were at the event, because they paid for a ticket, but once they were there, they were also supposed to buy things. They were supposed to buy things. And from what I'm understanding, what Toya said, all of the money that was given by the guests were supposed to go to the ladies. And they only had 2 recipients. And I wish they would have had 5, or, you know what I'm saying? Because medical school is expensive, baby. It's expensive. And I think Eugene knew better, but I think because he's trying to heal things with his wife, he just wanted to be on her side. But if you looked at his face when she said, both of y'all take this to the back, he was like, oh, do you not miss a moment to, yell at me or make me look bad? Anyway, Heavenly gets up. She gives a speech. She tells Toya that she is going to give her props for having a beautiful event. And also she couldn't have picked better recipients for the scholarship. Beautiful ladies. Congratulations to them. And then at the end, we get a little moment with Simone where she said, it's still F Heavenly all day, every day. I didn't say hello to her when she walked in here. I don't like that bitch. And not only do I not like her, but my kids don't like her, okay? We got little Cece over there saying, Mama, I saw her, but I didn't speak to her. You know what I'm saying? So the whole entire family is F Heavenly all day, every day. Whatever. Anyway, Heavenly said, I don't care what Simone talking about. Watch this. And then she taps Simone on the shoulder and said, girl, do you mind if I dance with Cecil? And Cecil and Heavenly do the funky chicken. And she tells Simone, if you would like to go dance with Daddy, he right over there. Okay. That was funny. Also, we get a scene from King and Quad. Quad basically says, oh, and I forgot to tell y'all this too. We get a scene from Quad and King. And Quad asked King, you want to dance? And he looked at his list. He said, I don't have dancing on the receipt. You told me to show up a half an hour late, which I did. You didn't say nothing about dancing. So we will be doing none of that. Okay. I'm only doing what you paid me for, ho, because we ain't even officially a couple anymore. Okay. So that was funny. Also, there is a moment where Jackie and Curtis go over to say they apologize to King and Quad for what Curtis said. Basically, like I said, hexing Quad's wound. And he said, if I apologize, Mr. Curtis said, if I offended you. And Jackie said, there's no if. You offended her. We don't do if in this family. Okay. Just so you effing know. No if. Anyway, King said that he never wants to hear that kind of rhetoric coming from Curtis ever again in life, considering who Curtis has been in the past, okay? And that's not a lie either. And basically, y'all, that is it, okay? So I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming in. Thank you to Clone and to Lady D Keys for helping out in the chat. And of course, thank you to all of y'all for hanging out with me, okay? Now listen, I am about to watch Bell Collective because I am going live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Y'all know that's one of my faves. So I appreciate y'all for coming over here tonight, but make sure you catch up with me tomorrow for Bell Collective. I've already posted the live, so make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be a part of it tomorrow. And what else? That's pretty much it, y'all. So y'all know I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit the like button, share the video. Follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. Thanks again for everybody who joined me tonight. And watch the videos I did earlier. I dropped 2 videos earlier today as well. One about Martell is a real shock, so make sure you watch that one. Till the next time, bye-bye, guys.